What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Strangers Minds. I'm Fernando, and today we're going to watch 11 scary videos that will make your blood run cold by Scary Comp. I can't wait to see what they have in store for us. So let's go.
In this clip, Luke was having a quiet evening when he decided to review his CCTV footage, just out of curiosity. But what he discovered nearly left him speechless. Watch closely.
So I'm currently home alone, watching Mine CTV. Mind you, my masks are right up there. What the is this? So like I said, I'm watching this bullshit as if that's not freaky enough. At midnight, home alone. What's really creeping me out is the fact that there is a mask on my fridge. Here, let me zoom. That's not my mask. My mask is behind me. So I don't know who put that mask here. Bro, what the Where'd the mask go?
While Luke struggled to explain what he was seeing, the event happened suddenly, almost as if something had completely erased it before his eyes. But things grew even stranger once he shared the footage online. Viewers began pointing out details Luke hadn't noticed himself, forcing him to make a startling confession and sparking an entirely new wave of concern. Here's what he revealed.
I didn't expect this video to blow up, but since y'all are asking...
Because that's the only reason why you did it. It's to get that viral moment with the television on, and there was a pause, and he took, come on, man. Because nobody don't recognize Mike Myers' freaking mask. And he said it himself, he has a bunch of masks. Sorry, guys. I'm not catching this one. A huge red flag.
We live up in this hoe. We live. The masks are up there. But I'm going to shoot you guys straight. I did put a mask on top of the fridge. But what I can't seem to understand, and what I'm actually kind of freaked out about, is the fact that there was a silhouette. See, I hate to be the bearer of bad news because I did put this mask over there. I'll admit it, I did. But what's freaking me out is you guys pointing out the fact that there's a silhouette. I don't know what's casting a shadow here or what's going on here, but like, I did have to turn on the lights after this because you guys started pointing this out. I turned on the lights and put on the office because what the is going on? Is Michael Myers up in my house? What the just happened? That's some bullshit. All right, so there's the fridge that I put the mask on top of. It was sitting.
You legit could almost see the silhouette, and it's the reflection of the cabinets off the shiny surface of the fridge. Come on, man, let's go.
Right up there. There's the piece of paper, but I have no idea what could have casted the shadow or made the silhouette. I'm still confused by this. It's freaking me out.
Some viewers believe the entity inside Luke's home has taken form, choosing a face and beginning to reveal itself. And with the number of unexplainable events piling up, Luke now worries that whatever this is won't stop here. He admitted that strange things have been happening in his house for a while, incidents he brushed off until this video gained attention. Now, Luke feels uneasy, because what people noticed in the clip was far worse than what he initially thought he captured. Paranormal or not, one thing is certain. Something inside that home doesn't feel right. Before we jump into our next terrifying video...
I'm sorry, but what doesn't it not feel right? You know, I think I'm coming off a little strong. I'm sorry. I apologize. But at no point in time did that guy mention that he's feeling kind of whatever. This was just your words, and I'm pretty sure you don't live with the guy unless you guys planned all of it.
Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell.
Yes.
So you'll be the first to know whenever we upload something new. Now let's get back to our next video. In this video, a woman named Kelsey shares a chilling experience that unfolded just days after a heartbreaking loss. She even explains what she believes might be behind it. For context, Kelsey's grandfather was a firm believer in ghosts and the spirit world. He always told her that if he ever crossed over, he'd find a way to prove he was still around. Sadly, he passed away on November 12th, 2023, and just 2 days later, Kelsey woke up to this.
See? What the What the Nobody's down here.
The lights downstairs began flickering for no reason. Assuming one of her kids had gotten up and was playing around, she went to check. But as soon as she reached halfway down the stairs, the lights shut off completely and stayed off. Finding nothing unusual, she returned to bed, only for the same thing to happen again moments later. This time, she woke her husband, and together they went to investigate. Once again, the moment they reached the halfway point on the stairs, the lights went dark and never came back on. Here's the strange part. Ever since that night, it hasn't happened again. So now Kelsey is left wondering, was it faulty wiring, pure coincidence, or could it have been the sign her grandfather promised to send from the other side? Some viewers believe it was a gentle message from him. Others aren't convinced, and some think it may not have been her grandfather at all, but something else entirely. Like many of these cases, I'll leave the final judgment up to you. Red Anderson.
All right, so here's the thing, right? My question would be, if it wasn't the grandfather proving that he was there by switching on and off the lights, and it was another entity, where did that entity come from? That's a good question, because if anything, you know, let's just say it's a regular occurrence when someone loses a loved one. They want to try and communicate, and most often they search for that communication through a Ouija board, which does open a door. And I've said this time and time again, when you open that door into the spirit realm using the Ouija board, you do not know who's going to cross over. You do not know who's going to walk through that door. So don't use a Ouija board. But yes, it could be faulty wiring. And if anything, probably, when you turned off the switch, it wasn't really resting properly, which is causing the static. It is interesting that every time you go downstairs, it stays off. But it could also be that when you're walking down the stairs, it's creating some sort of, you know, tremble vibration, and it lays it down. Although for it to turn back on and do the same thing, it is interesting. I'm gonna say that. But don't sometimes social media, when you want to post something and people are just trying to throw all of this crazy, rhetoric towards your way, it aligns itself with the same way as when a doctor tells you do not look up your symptoms on the internet because you're going to find the worst case scenario. Same thing with the paranormal.
An Air Force medic, claims that strange and unexplained events often occur at the treatment facility on base where he works.
Hopefully, then I think I do something. That ain't it.
One late night, while sending his wife a Snapchat message, Red unintentionally captured something that sends chills down his spine. Take a look.
But yeah, there's that. Anyway, I just had to check the SEMA real quick. So I'll be home in a sec, but I love you crazy.
Did you catch it? In the doorway across the hall, a strange shadowy figure seems to peer down from the top of the frame, something with two small, widely spaced eyes. Just as it ducks out of sight, a chilling sound can be heard echoing through the hall. No one else was supposed to be inside the base medical facility that night. Red went to investigate but found nothing unusual. It was only later, when his wife pointed out the eerie figure in his recording, that he saw it clearly. and the sight sent a shiver down his spine. A Russian urban explorer
I don't know about that one, you guys. I mean, I tend to believe videos when, when it has something to do with police officers, military, soldiers, people with authority, because they're not going to jeopardize their their career. They're not going to jeopardize it. But who's not to say that? I mean, anybody from the military is he wearing the proper uniform? Something rubs me the wrong way. That looked photoshopped, to be honest. Some sort of orchestration was going on there. But there's a red flag for me, and as soon as I get a red flag, I just dismiss the paranormal activity because it just I don't know. The whole with the cup moving the whole entire time, we didn't really see his other hand. You never know. I'm just saying. I didn't really. I don't think that video was real.
whose passion for abandoned places led him to a discovery that terrified him. While trekking miles deep into
Yeah, look at this face. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've gone to so many places all over the East Coast. I've gone to so many abandoned locations, and there was never, ever a situation where I would run away, let alone look like this.
the remote Russian wilderness, he stumbled upon what looked like an old, deserted complex. The location was completely isolated, hours away from the nearest town, surrounded in every direction by dense forest. The decaying concrete walls and rusted gates suggested the facility had been deserted for decades. Most people would have turned back, but Universe of Mems felt compelled to explore the forgotten ruins. Armed with nothing but his phone camera, he ventured inside to document the mystery, and what he captured sent him running in fear.
Прикольно, ребята, давно не было у меня таких приключений. Типа сталка. Здесь, ребята, жутковато. Потому что здесь, блин, куча этих волков, зверей всяких. Подходим, идем дальше. Смотреть, что как. Вот, ребята, еще такой вот бункер. Фу, территория очень большая. Здесь будет очень тяжело найти эти шахты. Так. Пошли. А вот здесь уже стрёмненько, ребята. Какие-то комнаты. Что это было? Ребята! Фу! Валим! Фу, блин!
As he approached one particular room, he suddenly froze. Out of nowhere, a dark figure appeared.
That's not dark, my guy. All right. I've always said this because I am a paranormal investigator and I go into abandoned locations all the time. I actually enjoy it. It's like an adrenaline rush. But before I walk into anywhere abandoned, you guys do not assume there's nobody else in there because it is abandoned. It is literally a shelter for anybody who's going through rough times, and hence us seeing this. He just walked in like nothing. Yeah, fine, sure. It's creepy that this person is this person possibly didn't turned off their light once they heard somebody was coming. Who's not to say that, right? But this person showed off, scared the living bejesus out of this guy, and yeah, he goes back to doing whatever he was doing inside that little room. And who knows? This was probably another onlooker, another explorer, Urbex. This is an awesome place, though.
And within seconds, he bolted, fleeing for his life. Afterward, he researched the history of the facility and uncovered disturbing rumors. Some claim the site had been abandoned after tragic incidents, leaving restless spirits behind. What Universe of Mems may have encountered was the guardian of this forsaken place, still protecting its secrets deep in the Russian forest. But the question remains,
It even dodged back in. Once it popped out, you see the movement going back.
What exactly did he come across that day? Was it the spirit of someone tied to the complex's grim past, or something far more sinister lurking among the wilderness ruins? In this clip,
Or just another person. I'm just saying.
a man named Brian was in his living room filming a wholesome moment, talking about how good life feels when you slow down, enjoy some music, and choose happiness. But in the middle of recording, something unexpected appeared on his phone screen. Watch carefully.
That's bloody. I might pull up here to 5-star restaurant, order man, her so soon. Right? How deep the bitch is, I won't put it before my loop. I'm fresh off the hospital. There's nothing there, but on the phone it looks like there's a bitch too. I be liking pictures too. If I like it, let me take this off. See that bitch slamming in my crew. If I don't like it, then I'm gonna fuse I call and put that bitch on mute. If I don't like it, then I'm gonna fuse I call and put that bitch on smooth. Bitch, I make my call. Oh my god, there's nothing there. What the? That's the only way she come to my room. If you pay for a hit, don't never call my phone. Check the news. What the? Oh.
I think he's freaking
Can y'all
himself
see
out.
it? No, run. Oh my god, I see her shadow. There's something at the window. There's something. I'm gonna turn on the lights now. I don't want to play. There's something at the window. Put this down. There's something at the window. Hello? But there's nothing there when I show. Shit. Why are they making my life freeze? My life is freezing. There's literally something there. Bloody Mary.
The unsettling part is that he could only see it through his phone. When he looked directly at the wall, there was nothing there.
Yeah,
Some believe phone cameras can capture frequencies or energies that the human eye can't detect,
that is true.
especially when it comes to spirits that haven't fully manifested. But was that really what happened here?
No.
Just seconds later, Brian felt an overwhelming presence, as if someone was standing right by the window. When he turned, no one was there. Looking closer at the footage, though, you'll notice something even more chilling: a faint hand-shaped shadow, followed by a figure slowly emerging from the corner of the wall. Brian insists he was completely alone that night, and that no one else could have possibly been inside. Like so many cases we've seen, this one remains a mystery.
You know what? I was gonna call BS on that, but at the same time, this guy is live streaming, so he is a content creator of sorts, and he probably did that just to get a couple of people to, to go viral, whatever. The shadow definitely could have been casted. I use cell phones when I go out into the field. I'm not gonna spend my hard-earned cash buying $600-700 cameras when a cell phone camera that records 1080p, and that is basically what you could upload to YouTube, is just the max is 1080p. So there's no need to have all of this crazy equipment. And I'm a little bit old school. You're not gonna see me, trying to do all of this, other stuff. Kudos to everybody else that does, but I'm pretty old school. My thing is, when I go out in the field, is to catch EVPs, because a lot of visual could be debunked by, let's say, this, a form of a shadow, but the shadow wasn't moving at all. I've seen shadows caught on my camera. I've seen shadows caught when I am recording with a cell phone, and with my other cell phone recording. So in the screen of the camera, it looks like there is some sort of shadow figure. But here's the thing: it is just some sort of light reflecting off, and is causing this illusion. That's the best way to describe it. Illusion. I The shadow didn't move, except for the hand, but the hand was darker than the actual shadow. So who's not to say that that wasn't put in there after the whole thing was already said and done? This is my conclusion. This is my opinion. I could be completely wrong. Maybe there was somebody there. Maybe there was a hand moving. But the way this whole thing was played out, I don't think so.
In this creepy video, a group of content creators off the coast of Maine who call themselves the lobster captains of the FV frequent flyer. While filming one of their usual drives, they passed an old, decaying house sitting all alone. But what they caught on camera left them completely baffled. Watch closely.
So this house, the first time we passed it, Chase said the bottom part was not blinking. It was on, but it wasn't blinking. See how the different lights are at different intervals? The kitchen light being on. And then in the fire room over there's a light that's going off and on. No one lives here. I think that this house may be haunted. Chase is gonna go inside and check it out.
You I am.
Ladies and gentlemen, this house is vacant right now.
Says
And
you.
it's more than one electrical circuit. So it can't be one malfunctioning.
For some reason, the lights inside the house were flickering. Here's the unsettling part. The creators confirmed that the owners lived out of state and that the property had no active power. So what could possibly be causing the lights? A year later, they returned to the same property, and what they captured this time was even more disturbing. Take a look.
Who would pay for electricity? Whoa, something just changed. Did you just see that? Something most definitely just changed.
What changed?
One of the lights paused for a second. There's no cars. It's 10 o'clock at night. This is 1 year later. Now, we did meet the girl that grew up here. This was her childhood home. She absolutely 100% said it was haunted.
She actually made.
She actually made a video. What is her screen name? Jenna
Something, I can't remember.
She 100% confirmed that this house is haunted. I just can't imagine anybody keeping power on for the lights to blink.
Not only did the creators confirm their findings with someone named Jenna, but the story took a darker turn in the comments section. Jenna's sister, Alyssa, left a chilling message claiming the house is, in her words, haunted. She wrote, "Jenna is my sister, and I'm also going to confirm that this house is haunted." The creators also revealed another strange fact. The house had been abandoned for years, yet the family never put it up for sale, choosing instead to just let it rot. But the most unsettling moment came the following morning when the crew turned back for one last look. Here's what they recorded.
So it looks like one light downstairs is blinking, but the upstairs light isn't. This is a house during the daytime. Timer, maybe? I don't know. But as you can see, it's definitely grown up. Okay, let's get the hell out of here. Screw this place. So one light is on, blinking, but the upstairs and the downstairs second light that was blinking is not on.
Viewers went into overdrive. pointing out eerie details the creators hadn't noticed, shapes in the windows, shadowy outlines, even faces staring back at the camera. While the creators haven't posted any updates since, their videos continue to circulate, leaving behind countless questions. Was something hiding inside this abandoned house the whole time? Or is there a rational explanation behind the flickering lights and the mysterious figures? For now, this haunting remains unsolved. This security
Well, the only thing I'm going to say is that I have never come across a abandoned structure that has electricity. So one could assume that if there is electricity, that just means somebody's paying the bill, or I want to live there because electricity is free. But that is very, very much unlikely. Who's not to say that there was people inside the house, for the video, right? Who's not to say that that was actually a year later? We have to go by what they say, and we don't really see nothing. All those shapes and shadows that people see, that is just, matrixing off the dirty windows, off the, the reflection from the sunlight. Because the only time we see a shadow or images or figures, it's when the sun is out and you can see the reflection of the trees off the window. So we need more to believe this place is haunted.
footage was uploaded by a woman named Caitlin after weeks of receiving mysterious alerts from her home surveillance system. Her backyard camera kept sending constant motion detection notifications, but every time she checked, there was nothing. No person, no animal, no clear explanation for why the sensor was being triggered. Night after night, the alerts came from the exact same area of her yard. Finally, after weeks of phantom notifications, the camera revealed what had been setting them off. Here's what it captured. In the grainy black and white footage, a misty white figure drifts across the yard. The apparition looks translucent, gliding rather than walking, moving with a fluid motion that feels unnatural, almost as if it were floating above the ground. It passes directly through the camera's detection zone, finally explaining why Caitlin had been receiving so many nightly alerts. The entity was solid enough to trigger the motion sensors, yet ghostly enough to appear otherworldly on camera. After capturing this footage, Caitlin finally had her answer to the mystery of her restless security system, though it left her with an even bigger question. What exactly has been visiting her backyard every night? This footage comes from a woman.
Okay, so what I'm going to say is, it's from Reddit. You guys, I do a reading from Reddit stories. What I'm going to say about that video is that a lot of times with night vision, if there is even a strain of a web, it could give this kind of illusion. Anything close up to the camera is going to look smudgy, is going to look like something is on camera at a distance, but it's actually right up on the lens. So, but I have to say, I would like to get more information on this story because it is promising just because the figure that you see is not moving fast enough that we could blame the frame per second of a cheap camera, but it is moving like a person. You could almost distinctly see legs, the arms waving back and forth. So it is interesting. It is interesting. I would love to get more information, not just this. And if this is a regular occurrence, where are the other videos? I would like to see the other videos also.
Named Eliza. Eliza and her brother worked the night shift at a small-town movie theater, the kind of town where everyone has heard the rumors, but no one talks about them out loud. The job was supposed to be simple, quiet, routine. But from her very first night, she knew something was wrong. While cleaning one of the auditoriums, she suddenly heard a sound no one expects in an empty theater: a baby crying. At first, she tried to rationalize it. Maybe a family was leaving late, but the theater had been locked for hours. She checked every auditorium, every hallway. The only other person inside was her brother. When she told him, he brushed it off, saying she was just stressed. But a few weeks later, he had his own terrifying encounter. While mopping the bathroom floor during his shift, a thick, black cloud formed right in front of him. It wasn't smoke. It wasn't steam. It had shape, mass, and a movement that defied logic. That was their breaking point. Within weeks, they both quit, deciding no paycheck was worth the fear that stalked them night after night. But months later, a former co-worker sent them something that chilled their spines. According to Eliza, the video showed the very same dark figures standing in the projection booth, and while skeptics insist it must have been a bird, a bat, or even just a trick of the shadows, Eliza knew better. She had seen that shape before and felt its presence. With everything stacked against a logical explanation, she's convinced there's only one answer. That theater was haunted. A woman named Lisa Johnson from Michigan.
Oh man. So just like with the last video, if anything comes across the lens of the camera, it's going to look like this. That could have been a bug. Could have been a bug. I was actually paying attention to the figure that was up on the window over here, like right behind the skeleton. Like this looks like a figure, head, shoulders, arms, body. But there was kind of nothing over here, so that begs the question, what's on the walls? It is a movie theater. These are most likely posters. So what's on this wall that's giving that shape? But whatever flew by, um, yeah, yeah, it could have been a bug.
One answer. That theater was haunted. A woman named Lisa Johnson from Michigan was abruptly awoken by a strange, unsettling noise emanating from outside. Her heart pounding, she immediately checked her phone to find a security camera alert, movement detected in her front yard. Without hesitation, she leaped out of bed, compelled by a mix of dread and curiosity to investigate the eerie disturbance. In the dim light, a mystic white orb floated silently across her front yard. Lisa described feeling a potent, almost palpable energy surrounding her, as if an unseen force were deliberately searching for her. After a minute of tense silence, the orb began its slow, ominous approach toward her, intensifying the already chilling atmosphere. As the spectral orb hovered near her back, Lisa experienced an overwhelming surge of energy, as if invisible fingers were brushing against her skin. The sensation grew ever more intense before gradually subsiding, allowing her to finally muster the courage to retreat back inside the house, her mind racing with unanswered questions. Even after she hurried indoors, the enigmatic lingered in the front yard, its ghostly glow undimmed. Though the energy it radiated was not overtly malevolent, Lisa couldn't shake the feeling that it was something otherworldly. She clings to the hope that this apparition might be the benevolent spirit of a loved one who passed away. But what do you think? Is it truly a ghostly visitation? Or could there be another explanation for this eerie phenomenon? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. A young mother
That video would have been a lot better if it wasn't due to the fact that the orb is in front of everything, which makes me believe that either um something is on the lens, or somebody is beaming like a laser towards the lens, and all of this is just orchestrated. This is all my opinion, and this is how my brain works. I try to find every rational explanation. Again, if that orb would have gone like behind the tree, that would have been amazing. If it would have gone like in front of the woman, that would have been amazing. But the orb was in front of everything. So this is why orbs on video, orbs on picture, it gotta be really damn good for anybody to believe it's an orb caught on camera.
named Savannah often took her daughter to visit her grandmother at the nursing home, and her little girl always loved those trips. But one quiet evening, Savannah's elderly grandmother peacefully passed away in her sleep. The very next morning, just before sunrise, Savannah's daughter wandered into her playroom. She sat there in the dark, quietly playing and talking. But when Savannah reviewed the security footage, it seemed her daughter wasn't alone after all.
I feel like this is going to move.
It's nighttime, we just sleep. And you want to do so now. For activa. Remember?
The toddler appeared to be speaking directly to her recently deceased grandmother, even softly reminding her that she was now with the angels on the other side.
It's nighttime, we just sleep. And you want to do so now. For activa. Remember?
Savannah admits she has no explanation for what happened, but says watching the bittersweet footage always brings her to tears. She truly believes her grandmother returned one final time, to say goodbye to the granddaughter she adored. A vlogger known
Wow, that is like so heartwarming, and it's unbelievably cute. But yeah, I tend to believe kids, babies, uh, call on camera videos talking to spirits, entities. And the fact that she is calling out means she recognizes the person, which is the grandma, and even recognizes, like, why don't you go with the angels? Like, she says angels. I think she says Jesus too. Like, go, speak to Jesus. Like, that is unbelievably incredible.
Known by some as Nedun, was casually sharing his latest thoughts with viewers when something unsettling took place.
I feel like a sick benefit when you have kids is the fact that you can tell them to get you stuff. Like, say he's about to go to sleep, right? And then I'm like, yo, Mari, can you get me the remote? He gets me the remote. He's probably wondering who I'm talking to right now because he's like, this guy lost his damn mind looking over there while we're the only ones in the room. But it's called vlogging. Oh, you're scared. You think I'm talking to a ghost. Okay, my bad. It's called vlogging. It's called vlogging. So if you look at the camera and talk to the camera, there's actually people there when you post it. I know you see nothing. Oh, you do see something? It's a little creepier than seeing nothing, because... Okay. Okay, chill, bruv. There's no one there. If you ain't talking to the camera, you shouldn't be talking to no one else, because there's no one standing over there. There's no one standing there, so who you talking to on that side? What do you say? Who are you talking to? You see people? Do you see people that aren't here? Why are you looking there now? No one's on the beanbag, bruv. Chill, fam, chill. Okay, you scared yourself and you just scared me too, bud. Who are you waving at? No, don't be doing that. There's no one there.
Things turned eerie when the little boy in the clip began acting strangely. You'll notice him glancing into different corners of the room, even though no one else was there. In one corner, he stared intently for a long time. In another, he looked as though he might burst into tears. It was almost as if he sensed multiple presences, some that felt safe and others that didn't. Viewers quickly chimed in, with some saying children often act this way, while others shared chilling experiences of their own, kids seeing things invisible to adults. Some suggested he was picking up on residual energy left behind from past events in the home. Others feared it might not have been human at all, but something imitating a human presence to gain the child's attention. But can anyone truly know what a child sees in moments like this? Like many paranormal encounters, this one remains a mystery.
So, you guys, what do you think about that? I know that children has a keen sense but aren't able to communicate it, and for some reason when we grow up, when we become adults, we lose that sense. Not all of us um stay with that open mind. um the older we get, the closer the closer the it closes. But that was kind of interesting. Uh a bit irresponsible, if you ask me, putting your baby, if he's a streamer, if he's a blogger, or whatever you want to say it, putting your kid's face so young, so little, you never know who's watching, my guy. So yeah. But I definitely believe kids when they start talking, and it is interesting to say the least. So, you guys, if you are enjoying this kind of content, please do what you do when you like a channel. Hit that like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you guys on the next. Peace.